Alrighty. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. So today we are going to get to the bottom of a few things, specifically with timers. Are they day cycles or are they actual timers? So to experiment with this, we have our timer here, and we're gonna test the day-night cycle to see if we can speed it up a bit after we get a meteor. Or we're gonna speed it up all the way to where we have very fast day-night cycles. And then we will take and spawn back and forth between areas after about a 3-day marker is what most people are saying. There's also a little bit running around that it is a 6-day marker for it to reset. We will test this with the meteors, supply drops, and the oil rig chest specifically. I think it's a day-night cycle. I'm not positive, but it could be a 3 to 6 hour marker. We will find out. So with that being said, let's go to the settings, because I know that I've been at least over 3 hours back and forth on the starter islands. So we turn up the day night cycle to where it is ×5, and same with the night. Also for reference, I do have 3 times on the pal appearance rate. We turned that up yesterday for the mimic chest and it worked wonderfully. We were able to get about 4,000 dog coin in about 40 minutes after having 700 to begin with. So math, so not too bad of an idea for that. If you have control over your server, I highly suggest doing this. It's the best way to get the dog coin, and you can then max out your breeding pairs with 100 IVs and be able to get breedings from them. So it is a top-notch way to get your 100s very easily, and a very easy way to farm it, especially in that one little area. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about specifically because you're new to the channel, the video that we posted yesterday, which will be probably at the end of the video to click on, is what I am referring to. Let's go ahead and load up and see where we're at. Fair warning too, when you turn this up to a 3 times, I would not suggest going into caves, because I'm on an Xbox One X and I did crash 1 time yesterday, but after that it was fine. I went through several of the dungeons and everything and it didn't crash anymore. So could have been a spoof because it's a bunch of pals that are in there at one time, but we'll see. So what we'll do is we will take and go over to, I guess, the new area, because that's one lady, the moon lady, that I have, but I don't have but 1 of, or 2 of, I think. Yeah, I think I only have 1. There might be another one floating around here. I don't know. But in other news as well, we do have our army coming along pretty good. We got 20 of these big dudes here, and we do have a couple of our 100 IVs as well. We will be switching them out as they come, but we got at least 2 right now, and the rest are all above 80 except for this one, which is at 79, and then this one, but I kept because it's an alpha, so more health, and it's at a 71 attack. So yeah, let's spawn over here in the new area. I'll spawn at my base. We have a supply drop, so we will start the timer. All right, it's been almost 3 hours. We started the timer when it dropped, not after we opened it. What we're gonna do, go on over there and wait to see if this drops. Literally like 2 minutes. But this could be a supply drop or a meteor. That's the way that they go. I might be dead. Don't look at me. All right, so we're over here. We'll just stand right here. Literally right on time. 3 hours is the marker. There you have it, folks. That is indeed the marker. Oh, and she got pacifists on her. Well, that's kind of lame, but nonetheless. So that is confirmed. That is not a day-night cycle because it had been like 20 some days. It's 3 hours. That's the marker. There you have it. Confirmed 100%. So the other thing that we're wondering is, what is the time sequence for the chest at the oil rig? But what we're going to do is stack ourselves up after dropping some of these guys in here. Let's grab that one. One thing that I will say as well, while getting the meteorite guys, the main 2, which would be these guys here and then these guys here, they come with otherworldly cell, so I would suggest using that. It's a 10% attack power buff, and then you have 5% or 15% fire resistance and 15% lightning resistance, especially with this guy, because from what I've been told with some of the people that have been that have upgraded this one to the max end. They are glass cannons, so it's good to have this on there. But specifically with the Moon Lady, a lot of people were saying that they're looking at Musclehead, Ferocious, Hooligan, and Serenity. Also, since she is apparently also kind of glass cannonish, I haven't really fully upgraded her to see what we got. But yeah, her defense is kind of on the low end, but we'll see for sure. But if anything, put on Burly Body as a backup just in case instead of Hooligan. That way you still got a decent amount of damage. You got quick resets, and then you can also put in defensive stuff so you can actually survive a bit. But yeah, all right, so we're going to reset the timer, and we're going to go over to the oil rig. If you're wondering why the video is late today, this is why. We got to time this. We'll reset the clock. We will go grab the Gobfin stack ourselves first. Drop these guys all off. And I've been using Azarobi instead of Force Gump because anything that's in the water, you can do it with Shadow Beak as well, but they'll lose stamina across the thing. But if you are in the water, those lasers don't detect you. So you can literally just kind of Mission Impossible James Bond it past them and not have any trouble with that. And while you're in the water, you don't lose stamina, so you can sprint all the way over there. This might actually make it a little bit more useful if you take and do like a speed version of Azarobi just to get over here faster if you want to. I personally am using one that I have Swift on, specifically my one that I'm going to be using for the raid. Her defense is a little low, but it's not that bad. We're almost at 1100, so it is manageable. As we can give her a rush or hot dog because we're not doing damage with her, and we'll be able to do some stuff with that. But as you can see here, none of those lasers are spooling up or anything. Pretty much Gucci. And I do like to bring a Gale Claw with me for movement because it just makes it easier to move around on the ship itself. Some people were talking about using pals while on here. I personally don't see it to be that much of an issue to be using the weaponry because it's so easy to make ammunition now. And on top of that, if you don't want to make ammunition, you can buy ammunition by selling the pal balls. So, I mean, I've got over like 10,000 rounds of about everything. So, also, while we are on the subject of the oil rig, there are 4 places that I can confirm that the big chest will be. It is only one big chest. It is not multiple big chests. There's only one big chest, but if you find the smaller purple chest around, don't pass them up. They can also give the smaller lotuses. And I ended up getting the green upgrade of the laser rifle, and this thing's actually pretty beefy. I like it. So this is one of the locations. I will show the other ones, but we will start up the timer here after I open it just to see if it is a day-night cycle or a timed cycle. So let's go ahead and open. We will prepare the clock and go. Ooh, we got the Gatlin schematic again. That's just a level 1. Sag. But yes, the other spots in which this can spawn at, I think I showed this in one of my other videos, but it was kind of theorized at that point, but I can confirm now 100%. The other spot is in this corner right here, so just up the steps from that original spot that we had there. So the other spot would be right in this little blue building right here, which is about middle of the oil rig, I guess front mid. And the very last spot was in this little building right here on the edge. If you're facing it from the island, it would be on the right side. Yeah, like you can see, you could get the Lotus stuff as well, the smaller ones, and able to crank yourself up. All right, so it is on a 30-minute timer. It's gotta be because everything just spawned back on me at once. Oof. So we're on a 30-minute timer for that. Day-night cycle has nothing to do with it. And you don't even have to be gone away from here. So we destroyed everything. We're gonna go back to base because the chest didn't spawn. Didn't have a timer up, but that took maybe about 20 minutes to re-clear that. So what I'm gonna do is go back to the base and then quickly come back over here. Yep, there it is. All right, so finding out some new stuff with that specifically. So you can't be on the oil rig when it does respawn all the stuff and respawn the chest. So I believe that it is still the 30-minute timer, but I think that that timer can be varied if you're on the boat when it respawns. So we'll do this. We just opened the chest. We'll start a timer and we will go back to base and we will wait for 30 minutes and then come back. At that point, all this stuff is going to be respawned. 2 things that I'm going to talk about real quick. 1, involving the Moon Lady. As it reads, can be ridden as a flying mount, enhances fire and dark attacks while mounted. This is not the case. It is a misprint. It is not fire, it is neutral, which makes more sense because it is dark and neutral. The only reason why I found this out is, thank you, Flo. She had told me about it because in French it translates correctly. And she was wondering, like, why are you saying that it's fire? And I'm like, because that's what it says. And she was like, it says neutral for me. And I'm like, what? So apparently something got mixed up with the printing of this and they put in fire instead of neutral. So it is a neutral increase, not a fire increase. Other thing, when it comes to the elixirs for your personal person, this is where it got a little confusing to me. You can put upwards of 50 points into your character using potions. But with that being said, that is the maximum amount that can go into any one of these stat points. So you could technically crank up everything to plus 50 using potions and not use any level points and still have the level points there, but you won't be able to use them. So realistically, for instance, my weight is at a plus 12. I could put in equal what would be to be plus 50, but since my stat points, you see I have 16 left, I cannot put any more into that because 38 plus 12 is 50. So you can get everything up to plus 50 with potions if you really wanted to. If you just mind wipe and then take the potions to kind of balance stuff out and then re-put in the stat points wherever you want them to be. I've been personally running my stats like that, but that's something to know. It confused me a little bit at first. I know that can be a little bit confusing because I was telling people, they were like, how many potions can you actually drink? Technically, you could mind wipe and drink upwards up to 50 points in each one of your stat points. But then you won't be able to use any of your level points. So that is what it is. But the maximum of the amount of points that you can put into each one is plus 50. So that's the main line of all that, the reason why that is. Another thing to talk about is while looking for chests, we found out some stuff. Besto, Jesus, Besto 3000 had mentioned to me, and I had forgotten about this, that a good way to find the chest dudes, the mimics, is with Tombat, because Tombat's specialty is, when activated, uses ultrasonic waves to detect the location of nearby pals. Now, beforehand, I think that they had it to where it only showed like markers where certain pals were. But since then, they have upgraded his system to show you exactly which pals are around you. So we can go back over to our farming spot like we were talking about before. Over here, pull out the Tombat, activate his stuff, and boom, if you look at the top here, that shows us all of the pals that are around us and the types of pals as well. So if you're having trouble finding them throughout the areas, that is a useful item. All right, it's been a little over 30 minutes, 37 minutes. I would have done it at 30 minutes, but as you can see, I was opening up eggs and that will be going for a while. Yep. 30 minutes is the timer. So there you have it, folks. 3 hours for meteors and supply drops wherever you're looking for. They do not drop in the lower level areas. I keep on getting level 1 schematics. Sag. But yeah, they won't drop over in like this area. I don't think that they would drop over here. They do drop in this area. They drop in the desert. They drop in the snow. They drop in the new area. They drop in the lava. They do not drop over here or over here, because I have 2 bases over here and spent enough time to where they would have dropped over there by now. I'm not too sure about these 2 areas, but I think they actually do drop over here, and they might drop over here as well. But they do not drop on the starting island whatsoever. But if I was anybody looking for these things, I would try to be confining myself to this area over here near Verdash, the desert area, either front or back, wherever you like, the snow, the new area, and volcano. Those are probably your best bets to find these things once every 3 hours. Once one drops, if you want to start a timer, you can time it for yourself. It is every 3 hours. And then with the oil rig, it's once every 30 minutes, this chest will respawn. If you're on the boat after that 30-minute timer, it will not respawn immediately, but if you go back to your base and come back to the oil rig, it does spawn up, as we've seen in this, or as I have done and showed the world. And as you can see, they spawn at random over here, so that's kind of weird. So we are very close to having our Noklam army done. We have about 10 100 IVs all the way through as of right now. And we got 8, 9, 10, and the rest of them are pretty high up there. We're in the midst of finishing these guys off. We only have 1, 2, 3 more to max out entirely. So if we get some more 100s in the midst of that, then we will trade out some of these other ones. But I think we're solid. Nothing on here is below 80 as far as health and attack, and everything else is pretty legit. Next thing that we got to get up are some Yormantides. I've made the decision to go with Yormantides, and I'm going to mix in some Sezaku Aquas probably. We'll see how everything goes. But Yormantides might be the best bet, considering that he is dragon and fire, and water and dragon would be a good alternative to taking reduction of damage. And again, the defense isn't too far off from either one of them, but I do have Yormantide Ignises, and I'm pretty sure I can reverse engineer some of these to get the stuff that I want on there. If not, then it is what it is. But I do have some Sezaku Aquas that I can work with as well, which I think we can use to reverse engineer anyway, because they have Lord of the Sea on them. But yes, other than that, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. We have been recording for about 5 hours and 4 minutes. It took a while to figure out all this stuff, and I wanted to test it for myself and see if it was day night or if it was in fact an actual timer. And we have discovered that it is in fact an actual timer. So if you guys enjoy my content, drop a sub. If you guys enjoyed this video, drop a like, and write down in the comments below what you're using for your raid setup. Are you using Noclums? Are you using Menasting Terras? Are you using Yormantides? Are you using Sezaku Aquas? Or if you're running something else maybe. Other than that, keep you willy washed, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.